Looking over my shoulder, stepped into your skin, got me tripping over myself. Figured I would say something, passing the time.
Episode 5 is all about Rouge. Rouge is, as it says, it's red, it's warm, it's beautiful. Beautiful tones of colour. There's 5 distinct tones. We can mix and match them into all of the range, or we can use them by themselves and have this pop of colour. Come inside. This is our model, Jessica. Jessica's got some grown out highlights, as you can see. We're going to give this a lovely pinky peachy tone, get a little bit of colour on at the roots, but we're going to enhance what we have and use what we have as well. So we're not going to pre-lighten anything. We're just going to get some pops of colour and then pick it up. It is naturally wavy, but we're going to dress it out with the tong today too and really give it a sophisticated look. Red Rouge, 5 distinct colours, ranging from a copper, being a 0.4, and then we've got a 0.5 to 6, a 0.6, 0.62, and a 0.64. Now the colour I'm doing now, we are enhancing what we're doing. We're not going to blast the hair with those bright colours, although we can do that. The range will let you use them alone, which we can just have a big punch of colour, or we could put it into any of the range just to boost our colours. So 10 to 50% of that mix could be a Rouge colour. So now we're going to put in 10% into the mix, and what I'm going to mix it into is a demi-permanent colour. We're just going to give this colour a little bit of pop, a lovely peachy pinky colour, and that's going to go on the mid-lengths and the ends. The root colour we're going to go in just with a little bit of depth and some warmth as well, and we're going to use a 6.036. So what's great about the 0.035s and the 0.036, they have built-in fillers. So while we're going to overlap this over some older blonde hair, that's going to fill the hair as we go. So it's a one process, which I love. It's all about sort of maximising what you can do in the time that you have in the salon. So great little one application colour. So let's get mixing. So we're going to mix our colour up now. It is a demi-permanent, so the 6036 is my colour, and I'm going to mix it with 1.5. It's deposit only. That's going to give us this beautiful luster and shine. Being a deposit only colour, it's not going to lift. Got the built-in filler that will help us get a lovely flowing colour into the lighter hair. This mixes as a 1 to 2, 1 part colour, 2 parts developer. So you can see as it mixes, it's a lovely creamy consistency. There's no overpowering smell at all. It's quite pleasant, which is great for the client. Now we'll mix the colour up for the ends. So this is where we're going to introduce the Rouge. So we've got a 9.046 and a 0.6 Rouge. So this is the hero colour of the day. This is what we're talking about. That is going to enhance this. So I'm going to use 10% of the mix into this. I'm still going to do 1 part to 2 parts, 1.5 developer. I'm adding 10% of the mix is the Rouge, and that is going to give us that little bit more of a pop of red. So in goes the Rouge, and you'll see it's quite intense as it comes out, so it really gives you what it's talking about straight away. See how red and rich that is. So just 10% of the mix of that, and that is just going to pick that up. You know, if I wanted to just do something where I want a really punchy colour, it's a 1-to-1 mix, you know, and I could mix that with a 3%, 6, 9, or 12. So 12, you will lose a little bit of that intensity, but it will lift that colour up. But if I just want 2 to 3 levels, I will go for a 6%. And that will really punch it up. And really the best colour to use it on would be a leveled 5, a depth of 5, and lifting up from there because it's already a red-orange. So that is really going to add some punch into that colour. Great as a highlight, really beautiful. see how nice that looks. Lovely and rich, always a great visual delight. Mix it really thoroughly so the two colours mix in well. So what I'm going to do is even out the porosity of the hair. What I can do, because it is a demi-permanent, I can do it on freshly washed hair. The hair is clean, it's just dry. So as a rule, if you apply a demi-permanent to dry hair, you'll get a more intensified result. So what I want to do is just even this porosity, because you can see the porosity of the hair isn't as even from roots as it is to ends. So I'm going to put some all-purpose 6-in-1 in. That's going to even out that porosity and get me a nice clean result with the colour. I think it's really important to prepare the hair for the colour. So we'll just spray that liberally through. I'm just going to get a wide tooth and comb it through, just so I've got a little bit on every hair. It's a lovely fine misted spray, so it won't overdouse the hair. It smells beautiful, lovely fresh scent. So the comb just glides through that, you know, and that's porous hair, old highlights. It's been braided, so it has got a little bit more texture. But that's just combing through really beautifully with one glide. I apply the root colour first. I'm going to blend it right out, right down to, I think it's good to look at focal points on faces. Is it the eye, the cheekbone, the lip, or the chin? And that's where I want to stop my colour and then blend it into the next colour. I think it's really important to feature those areas, and that's what's going to make eye colour pop, and same as a haircut, you know, you've really got to think about your placement of your colour. So my Simon Says tip for this episode is colour placement, how important it is. So this is my root colour. I'm going to bring it down to around about the cheekbone. So what I want to do is enhance a lady's face. I think you got eye level, cheekbone, nose, lip, chin, and they're the areas that I want to pop. So I've got to think about haircuts and hair colours and marry them in. Although we're not building shape, with the tong later we might start our curl with a similar sort of feeling. So we might sort of start the curl from the cheekbone down and leave the top a little bit flatter. So I think it's really important to understand a woman and how she looks better and how we can make her look better. That is our job. Is get that regrowth area on for what, 3 or 4 centimeters, and then I start bringing that down. So pull the hair out. I'm quite firm with the hair when I pull it out as well. Right down the center to the back hairline with the same technique. What we're going to do with these two colours is blend them in. So we're going to have a no start stop line, dark and to this pinky peachy end. Nice and seamless. Painting out to that point, just where the old highlights are really, and then I'm just blending over them. So that's going to be perfect for this fade out. Make sure you use really clean sections. Keep your hand, whatever your hand, I'm left-handed, so my right hand needs to be really clean. So I'm not marking the hair with the darker colour. And as I get back out to that sort of area that I'm blending in, I'm flicking the brush. I change my technique slightly, so let's watch that closely. Popping on fairly thick and liberal at the roots, doing the other side, and then fanning it out. go to the side of your brush and just come up a little bit higher. Simon says, tip of this episode with the magenta, it's a 0.526. That's all the other Rouge colours is best used around a level 5. That's where you'll get your best result. With the magenta, it's a level 6 and above. So level 6 and lighter is where we'll get the best result. And it's a beautiful colour, the magenta. It's unique. And I think it would be great on a dark base natural with some magenta highlights through, would look just unbelievable. And that's the thing, that's the pure creativity of the Rouge colours. It basically the world's your oyster. You know, if you want to go crazy, you go crazy. If you want to do beautiful soft tones with a little bit more punch here and there, you can add them in. So I mean, that's what our hairdressing career is about, is being creative. I think that's something that I always push on about. If I can make my everyday a little bit more creative, I'm happier than if I don't. So it's pushing ourselves and thinking outside the square a little bit and experimenting with our colour. Look at that colour, it's beautiful. What a visual delight. So we're just going to apply this just away from the blend line. I'm going to get it on through those mids and ends first, and then I'll come and feather it up and then move it back in. And then I want to go with my 2 fingers and then just slide over that, blend it in. Use the side of my brush as well, just blending the 2 colours together. Making sure we're getting a little bit on every single hair. I don't want to come back and there's a little faded spot. I think that's where we've got to be really meticulous in our application and milking that through the hair and making sure it's everywhere. Just going to wipe my hands in between each, which takes a bit of time, but I really want to get this exactly right. So I just wipe off my excess colour and then I'm working really neatly with the hair. Manageable sections. So another, Simon says, tip for this episode would be, with the Rouge we can use this as a colour balancer or a filler. So to come back to a darker level, we can use, say, a 0.6 mixed with equal parts water, and then we process that for 30 minutes. And then we put our target shade over the top. Okay, a recap on the Rouge. So today we've used the Rouge as a 10% mix of our ends colour. So it's a bit more of a subtle sort of use of this product. As I said, you can mix it in, you can add it up to 50% of the colour, and then it will take over if you keep adding more. So you might as well just use the direct dye, the direct tint. So, you know, mix it 1:1 with any percentage. The higher the percentage, you will lose a little bit of that intensity in the colour. You know, but a 6%, 9%, and you'll get a lot of punch with that colour. Can even be used with 3%. What we've done with this colour is we're working from that cheekbone down with the dark colour and then into the brighter colour on the ends. I think that will just look spectacular. I'm going to set it with some tongs and give it a really lived in, wavy, textured look, which is really current at the moment too. So we're going to let that process. It is a demi-permanent, so we're going to give it a process. I'm going to go for 30 minutes because of the porosity. I just want it to really have some punch. As you can see already on wet hair, we got a bit of punch in the color. It's great. It looks really progressive from the dark to the mids, and then we get a little bit of pop on the ends, which I love. I think it looks fantastic. I'm going to add some control cream now. This is my favorite product. I put it on every head of hair before I cut it. I just like it as a starting base. Today we're going to use a hot tong to curl. And what I want to do is just fatten the hair up a little bit, give it some control, but it won't go hard in the hair. It's very malleable. And then when I add heat, it really comes to the fore. So great product. As I said, good to cut with, great to style with. So when I apply this, I like to apply to ponytail first, down to the ends. And then with the excess on my hands, I work that back through and then we work it through to the front. And then comb it through, so with fingers first, then a wider tooth comb, and then just comb it through, right through to the ends. And you can see that the hair already, it changes when the product's in it. It doesn't go fly away, it just controls it. It's control cream. What I want to do with the tong is it's quite a large tong. I just want to get it set first, so that's really technical. I count to 10 each time when I wind it up, let it go, let it cool, and then I brush it all out. I want it to look believable. I don't want it to look like prom hair. I want it to look beachy and wavy and textured. So just grabbing quite large sections, starting down the hair shaft, just wrapping that around, leaving the ends out. And just unraveling, letting that sit. So later on I can just get those ends and just give that a little bit of a tweak. Just gentle. I don't want that to be really curly at the finish, and I don't want it to be curly up here. I just want it to start and then be quite strong in the middle and then soften out toward the ends. Now that we're all set, quite an easy set. There's probably 10 sections in that. So I've used quite wide sections, and that's what I want. I want it to just be, you know, a soft curl, but you can see there it's got plenty of structure in it. And let it cool down before you comb it or brush it. I always brush these out. The reasoning for that is it will give it a more believable result. It'll look like it could be hers. You know, she's gone to the beach and she's had a really good day at the beach. So I think it's important to get this section. So what I do is either use a wide tooth comb or a brush and then literally comb it right out, hold the ends. I can be quite firm with this. What I don't want to do is rake my fingers through. I want to then shake it, and then I keep building the shape and seeing how it's sitting. And then I'll get a dryer in there later, I'll blast it through. I just want it to look lived in. I think that's really important. Simon Says top tip is let the hair cool, let your curls cool before you brush them out. So remember, this is Rouge as an add-on, so we've added it into a color. So it's quite a vibrant result, but what I love about it, it's muted, and then as the hair's a little bit more porous on the ends, it grabs on a little bit harder and you get this beautiful pink tone. But you can still see the little hues of peach in there. So that was the original color. If we wanted to go really strong with this, we'd just use the Rouge. So 0.6, equal parts, and give it a bit of a vibe, pump it up. And that would be killer bright red, which would look awesome. Luminol oil, what we're going to do is put it on. It's all about shine. I can put it on wet or dry. Today I'm going to mix it with control cream, which we've already got in the hair. But I love this application because it's not overly done. I don't like it too glossy, if I could say that. I want it shiny, but I want it to look real. So by mixing these two together, and what I'm going to do is get it on the hair, and I'm just going to clap over the hair like this and then fan the hair out, and it's going to help control it. So let's do that. So just very little of the control cream, because I don't want to saturate the hair with it. And then a couple of pumps of luminol oil. 3. one for good measure. So it's quite wet on the hands. I want to get it on. If I've got too much, I'll just grab a towel, literally. And then we get this whole section and I'm just patting it onto the hair really quite gently. And as I lose it off my hands, I'll come to the root area. They're just tapping over it. And you can just see that shine and bit of definition.
Come on over here, we could be on the same side.
Same side, same side.
This is where I just introduce a little bit of dry. Dryer will just sort of take that little bit of product residue off and leave it looking fantastic. And just getting a bit of air in there is great. So here we are, our finished result. Absolutely beautiful mix of colors. I love the muted blend here. I can see more of the peaches here and more of the pink there. And that is what the color can do. We can punch it up as much as we want. If we add more red or more of any of those colors, we're going to get that pigment coming through quite strongly. So really exciting. Have a play with it. Start with 10% and then add as you go. I think the next time you could have that consultation, we can give you more next time. You know, I think that just links them into the story and keeps them as motivated as you are. But a great result and a cool little curl to finish. I think really that curl is great with that little bit of product in there, but I want it to feel like hair. I don't want to set it with hairspray so it's not interchangeable. As she walks through her day, I think it's just going to work around. She can zhuzh it and ramp it back up. So really happy with my result. I hope you enjoy it.
On the same side.